Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where we are currently on our, I believe, final episode here. We are fighting Britain and we've kicked them out of South America here. They're trying to naval invade again, but I imagine this is probably going poorly. Actually, they're winning this, remarkably. We've apparently only sent 1,000 people to fend off 43,000. Okay, well, we have all of these guys in this area. I don't expect that to be a thing long term. So that seems relatively okay. We're pushing up through Canada, and there's no problem there. We have additional forces here held in reserve that we can bring up if we need to. So that all seems fantastic. No problem whatsoever here. And yeah, we can see the US is definitely winning up this way now. So that is great. So at this point, how close is Britain to being willing to accept this? 895 reasons is the answer. Okay. War support is currently 57, short duration of war is 50 reasons, and transfer Venezuela is 1,000 reasons. Okay. Well, they'll get over that. They will definitely get over that. So Finnish people are migrating, and the game is very laggy right now, but this is a very large war ongoing. We are winning this defensive action. Looks good. We are losing, well, New Granada is losing this one. It would appear that Britain has managed to get in over here, so we definitely need to deploy these guys to this front. Apparently this naval invasion became a thing. Let's just get over here and kick them back out. That will not take us very long once we actually arrive at this front. In theory. We gonna get there anytime soon? That'd be nice. Okay, so I'm going to mobilize these guys, and we're going to station them up in the Gran Colombia HQ. So they're going to come up and help defend against this, just in case. At this point, we're going to kick the British back out of Venezuela. That looks good. Britain is trying to return to this, but it's not going to go super well for them, I suspect. So Canada is going to get kicked out eventually. And we can see that there is an invasion stalled down over here. That looks good. The use of force is definitely warranted. Cool. So we're currently only at 34 advantage here right now, but that looks fine. We are easily winning this attack, and I'm okay with that. This is broken out into a number of different fronts, so there's definitely some messes going on there. We are pulling out of Greece, apparently. Apparently Greece has given up. Sure, that's over. So we have a bunch of forces coming over this direction, and all of this will get wrapped up soon enough. So Britain is down to 43 in its war exhaustion now, and I see that they've gotten a little bit occupied out over here now. However, we are pushing them out over this way, and that looks good. They're down to 41 at this point. So now 30 from short duration of war. They're very upset about transferring Venezuela, but they will get over that. So that'll be fine. We're going to get that back under our control. Yeah, the British are definitely getting kicked out of here. So that looks good. They have, however, apparently moved a lot of forces into the nothing that they control here. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what they've got going on here. I'm very not sure what they've got going on here. There's nothing that they control here. This is all controlled by, in theory, us. Who is this actually controlled by? New Granada, apparently. Okay, so that's all controlled by New Granada right now for some reason. We are actually working on defending down this way. That looks good. And there's this naval invasion up here as well. So we might eventually have to pull some forces back, but we're currently overrunning Canada, and that seems fine for the moment. This is absolutely a-okay, I think. We need to let this attack finish, which we are currently winning, but they are piling a large amount of units into, I guess they control this tiny little area here, I think. Right here, and maybe a little bit. No, they don't control this. They control a tiny amount of area right here, I think. And if we end up winning this battle, then that may kick them out of here, which would be amazing. I'd be very, very happy about that. So Britain is winning this right now, and we are winning this. That's fine. I'm going to mobilize our last reserve force, and I'm going to send them up to this front just in case. And apparently all of our forces are piling in on this Canadian front for some reason, and nobody's going over here. I'm going to go ahead and send one unit here, and then I'm going to send an additional unit here. There we go. Let's go get that all taken care of, and then we'll be able to deal with whatever this nonsense is. Excellent. So we had them kicked out, but they ended up re-naval invading, I'm pretty sure, is what happened. So that's fine. We've got our forces on the way in. This is very expensive, of course, but that is reasonably fine. So we're working on power plants right now, sure. We, of course, have a pretty major oil shortage. How's Britain doing on this? They're at minus 20. Or rather at plus 20. Okay. So they're not into this at this time. We will continue to do battle with them. How have they ramped up their military? I'm wondering what they've gotten to. 88, and we are currently at 158. Okay. So we have wrapped up over here in Canada. That looks good. And I am wondering, are there any other fronts? There are down over here, I guess. Sure. Well, we've got forces currently heading over to take over the rest of Canada. That looks good. And we've got reinforcements on the way over here. We are losing this engagement right now. There's still this naval invasion here, so we need to keep this force stationed in the HQ, which was why I decided to bring in a second unit up to this front here. But apparently, we're still at a 38% disadvantage because they've brought in 900 units. Okay. I mean, that's not that big of a disadvantage, and we've got forces on the way back. So this looks absolutely fine for right now. These guys are coming back too. Yeah, I'm okay with this. We are going to need to pay off some of this debt, no doubt about it, but this is very expensive. They are piling everyone in right here, but we have our reinforcements on the way in as well. Britain is now at +4. War support cannot be dropped below 0 because we do not control Transfer Venezuela or regime change. That's interesting. We have to control regime change in British East Africa? So where is British East Africa? That's out over here. Okay, so we're going to need to start up an invasion of that. That's a little awkward. I hope that the US will handle that one. For now, we're just working on getting our forces brought back in over here, and that looks okay. We did just finish up the production technology tree, so let's hop over into the military tree. This is actually done, and let's then hop into society. There's probably a little bit left over here. Yeah, heavy on the little. We can grab macroeconomics and mass surveillance. Cool. Okay, so Britain is really struggling out over here. They are bringing in a lot of forces, but to be honest, it's not going to be all that big of a deal. Our reinforcements are arriving, and that's all of Canada taken over. So that looks good. So, regime change in British East Africa, huh? I'm going to tell these guys to plan a naval invasion of, like, Mozambique. And that would be with this fleet. We have too few flotillas, but I'm not expecting that to actually be a major issue. So let's just do that for now. They're still trying to naval invade out over here. It's not going well for them. And we can see that this is starting to turn around as our forces return from Canada and start taking this over. So that is fantastic. We do have a vulnerable front in eastern New Guinea, apparently. I don't really care about that all that much, to be honest with you. So that is fine for now. The question is our Navy actually strong enough to pull off something like this? We'll see. We will see if we're able to actually do that. So for now, this is going reasonably fine. We're going to kick them out of here, and then these guys will get sent anywhere. Oh, I guess Canada pieced out. Interesting. Canada must have pieced out. Cool. So that seems reasonably fine. We've got a lot of active battles down over here. And we can see that Britain has actually apparently de-occupied all of this, which is, of course, rather remarkable, but that will stop soon enough. We're working on pushing Britain back out of here. So that looks good for now. We're going to have all of our forces right up over here with the exception of this unit, which is defending against this naval invasion, and this unit, or maybe this unit, which is prepping for the naval invasion of East Africa out over here. So we should probably cease our construction. That will stave off our deficit for a little bit. That'll save us some amount of money. I definitely expected this war to be over by now. Oh, we now have this basically recaptured. I think they didn't kick us out of all of this. I think that was just a display bug. Okay, so currently we need to control British East Africa and we need to control Venezuela for them to be able to be dropped below 0. So that is the current goal. The question here is, how is this going? Let's see here. We have 0 landing progress right now. These guys are still sailing over, so that is noted. Okay, so the British should get kicked out of here fairly quickly. The British are losing that. The British are losing this. The British are losing this, and the British are losing this. So all of these battles are being lost by Britain right now. We are trying to move our people over here to get this invasion of British East Africa done. We'll see if the British Navy lets us do that. And it looks like Canada did not, in fact, peace out. That was also due to that render issue. Okay. Minus 13 over here, huh? This might be due to some issues with our shortages, perhaps. Oh, it's because all these guys are moving around to a different side of the front. That's why. Once they arrive here, this should get fixed. There we go. Much better. Cool. So the British are actually kicked out of here now. This front is maybe gone, but also everyone who was at the front is gone. I'm not sure where our armies went. I guess they went back to their HQ. They just teleported. Okay, sure. So we're currently attacking out over here. That was a successful attack. And that means that this is now a thing. Beautiful. So we need to occupy British East Africa at this point. And we will occupy this very quickly. This is pretty much unopposed. Cool. So we are going to go into default very soon. That is a problem. We need to get our way up over here. We really need to get Britain out of this war. So I'm going to have these guys here. I'm going to have them come deploy out to this front. I want 2 armies out over here for now. Then I'm going to start doing some demobilization. I'm going to demobilize you and you. And we're going to keep 3 here. As far as this down here goes, I'm going to demobilize 1 of you. And then I'm going to demobilize 2 of you. There we go. And then I'll keep these 2 mobilized for the time being. Like that. So we are currently in default, and that is painful. No doubt about it. And at this point, Britain is proposing a peace deal. They're proposing a white peace. No. We're going to reject that. That will be rejected in 29 days. Okay. So that looks fine for now. These guys are arriving up at this front, and they're going to continue to take over British East Africa. So we just need to get this taken over at this point. And we're definitely seeing these demobilizations come into effect here. Our credit is painful. There's no doubt about it. We need to reduce our expenditures. I'm going to demobilize this army as well. Okay. So this front broke out, which isn't surprising. We're going to head out over here. I'm wondering if Britain... No, we need to just let this... We need to let this time out. Eventually, Britain will accept this. But for right now, we need to get more forces here. Okay. There's all of these British forces right down over here. That's definitely grim. And we're spending so much time moving around over here. But I'm hoping that British East Africa will be under our control before all of these forces arrive. But it's taking us so long to move. And this is because of oil. But we should work through that oil deficit fairly quickly, in theory. Okay, so we're now in both of these fronts. Okay, so this is now occupied here. Is all of British East Africa currently occupied? I believe it is. But I'm not 100% certain on that. Maybe it isn't. I would have expected it to be fully occupied at this point, for sure. But apparently it is not. So at this point, if we were to do this, 642 reasons. Oof. Okay. Eventually, eventually this will all get there. Hejaz is in default. Yep. We are kind of holding firm on the amount of money that we have, but this default is getting worse and worse all the time. The US just pieced out, which means that Britain can now go negative here without having this. Okay, that's very good. That is very, very good. So eventually they're going to get flipped around here. Yeah, they're now at minus 95 reasons. And we can see that our deficit is getting smaller, and in fact, our credit is improving as well. Because we are still... Actually, this is waiting for funding to become available for financing, sure. But we are still doing some privatization there. So that looks good. Britain's at minus 91 right now, because they're at minus 10. Cool. Apparently there's no front down here. That's actually really good. So both of these units are heading up here. In theory, I want to now demobilize here and here, retaining our mobilizations in these three areas. So we're going to demobilize, and this will improve our deficit situation for a while. And the battle is still ongoing up over here. Beautiful. So 82 reasons for Britain to not accept this at this time. This is quite a route that we're taking through here. Very windy. I don't know why we did that, but whatever. I guess that's fine. And we have an additional army coming in up here, but for the moment, I'm absolutely A-okay with this. So, 70 reasons Britain has at this moment. We want all of these, for sure. That is 100% a guarantee that we want all of that. So let's get these units up here. We're doing much better on the oil now, and the tanks are somewhat better. Somewhat. How are we doing on that GDP? Yeah, it's going down because of this default. So our credit is currently holding. That's understood. Feared but not loved, huh? No. We could do a kinder image and reduce our infamy. That's probably not a bad thing, actually. So, I don't think that actually went down. But whatever. We're currently at minus 55 with Britain here. But the demobilization is still happening here, so that's looking good. I'm wondering what the mobilization status on this is. Half. Okay. So that is absolutely noted. Britain is sending a lot of forces out here, but this no longer matters. This is now kind of irrelevant. We're just waiting at this point for Britain's war exhaustion to continue to go down. And it's going down fast. 5.6 per week. That is huge. They've lost 68.3% of battles. And they've lost their whole army more than once. That's insane. Okay. I mean, we've suffered a lot of casualties as well, to be sure. And this front is not going to go so well for us. I do want to flip these guys over to defense. And I want to tell them, just hold the line as best you can out here. We're just waiting out Britain. Like, we are not attempting to... We're not attempting to take any additional territory here. So this is fine. They're at minus 37. Excellent. Minus 31, and this is going to go down by 5.6 again. Beautiful. 5.8 now. Excellent. So we're just holding the line out over here. Their casualties are continuing to ramp up. So we now have 26 reasons. We're about 5 weeks away from finishing this. Assuming that Britain doesn't successfully naval invade over here, but it doesn't look like they're going to. So that looks fine. They're definitely focusing on this out here, and I'm okay with this. They can continue to attack this as much as they want. They're at minus 82 now. So net minus 19 reasons at this point. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We are about to come out of debt the moment this war ends. We're in a good position here, actually. We can exploit the Amazon, which we may as well do. There we go. And Britain is now down to minus 7 reasons. On this next tick, yes, on this next tick, they should capitulate. Fantastic. So that looks great. They have 7 reasons to not do this right now. Now they have 1 reason to not do this, but they capitulated. Perfect. So we took all of their territory here. That is absolutely excellent. Now, we're at minus 886k right now in terms of our income. I expect that to change, but that's mostly due to our default. So minus 71.9, minus 72.0. We are at minus 3.51k in our bureaucracy, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. So we're going to need to get some government administrations going, and this is going to be, each of these is 60, right? No, it's 30. Okay, so we're going to put 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 1, 1, and 1. But that's not probably going to be enough to get our bureaucracy positive. So let's toss in an additional 10, 10, and 10. Now, those are going to have to be moved up from the bottom because I bulk queued them up. But we're going to do that, and we should definitely have the game unpaused right now. So we're currently turning a profit. That's excellent. But we need to get that credit paid down enough that we are no longer in default. That's our big issue right now, is we are in default, and we got to get this credit paid down by 2 million. So we're expanding steel mills in Antofagasta right now. But we definitely need to get this paid down. Mission number 1 here. Our taxes are not maxed. Let's max our taxes for the time being. Because we gotta get this turned around. Otherwise, the default is just going to continue to brew up, right? Eventually, we'll be at minus 100% throughput. And that would be catastrophic. Absolutely. There's no recovery from that. So we got to get this paid off as quickly as we can. We're paying 443k in subsidies right now. We should also tank our military wages for the moment so that we're making as much as possible. We need to pay off 2 million at this moment. And we can see our GDP is not doing well. This is because of our default. So let's get this turned around. And once this is turned around, I'm fairly comfortable saying that we're in a good spot to put a cut in, but we got to get it turned around first. So we can see our credit size is going down here to 246 at this moment. So we now need another million paid off, which is not great. So we are reducing our amount of interest payment, but that's not going to be a huge snowball. It's only 107k right now. So I'm just keeping an eye on this situation here, and 248 out of 245, that's grim. We need to tank our government wages, and that's okay for now. Okay. So we're 3 million away, and the question is, are we going up fast enough? Are we paying this off fast enough? We're paying off 500,000 a week at this moment. We're now 2 million away. We just need to get rid of this default. And we got to do this as quick as we can. Okay, there's another week passing. So that put us at 246 out of 244. Okay. This is going down because our default is going up. Our max amount is based on our GDP, which is being absolutely tanked by this throughput penalty here. So that is what's happening here. We got to get this paid as quickly as we can. Welfare payments aren't a big deal. We could turn off subsidies. That's an option. I'm not sure if it's necessary, though. I think we're making progress here, although it's back up to 3. Okay. We're going to go through and make sure that nothing is subsidized for right now. That's going to create some issues. So let's get rid of any subsidies that we have here. I know that that's going to create issues, but we have to do austerity at this moment. Otherwise, we're not going to get caught up here. So we got to do that. There. That's going to save us a lot of money a week, in theory. But it's going to cause issues in here. Yeah, market access is immediately a problem. Noted. Okay. I'm going to bump this up to speed 5 for right now. And I do want to have some level of subsidies. There's a tank input goods shortage. That's noted. Man, we're so close here. What else can we do? Well, we can privatize some of our buildings, and I think that's what we have to do here. So there are no buildings in this group that can toggle privatization. I'm wondering... There are apparently no buildings that can be privatized. Okay. That is noted. What else can we do here? Well, the trade centers are subsidized. Let's turn off those subsidies. We're not paying too much in subsidies right now. In fact, we're paying nothing in subsidies. We're still making 505k. That's noted. Let's re-subsidize our... Actually, barracks should be on mobile warfare tactics. Let's re-subsidize some of our trains at this point. So these railways here. We could re-subsidize all of them, I suppose. And that should solve our market access issues. In theory. We're still 2 million away on this credit, though. That's the core issue. We could declare bankruptcy. That would be very bad, of course. That'd be very, very bad. We would prefer not to do that. And what else could we do here, in theory, to deal with this? Well, military wages are a thing. Interest payments are coming down. Government wages are a thing. And bureaucracy is getting steadily worse. No doubt about that. So our bureaucracy getting worse is definitely a big part of this. We have almost 1 million in unrealized taxes right now. And that is due to all of this tax waste. But I think that's just due to our throughput reductions. Now we're dipping negative financially. Okay. So what else can we do about this? We're so close to being able to flip this around. So close. Well, we could go through our railways here, and we could say any of these that are at all productive, we can revoke the subsidies on. So we can do something like this. Apparently we can't do that in Brittany. Sure. Privatization is enabled for a lot of these as well, so we can hope that privatization does the trick for us. All we need to do is get out of this deficit. So we could declare bankruptcy. That would be an option. It's not a good one. But we could do it. We do have all of South America under our control, which is nice. We can revoke this subsidy. This would need to remain subsidized. These would get revoked. Something like that. Okay, so that'll save us some amount of money, which would be good. We would definitely like to save some money. So we'll revoke all of those subsidies, and we can come down to like Mendoza and revoke that one as well. The rest of this, I'm going to leave. Okay, and hopefully this market access will recover somewhat, but a lot of this is just due to production issues. So we're having issues right now with our default is just continuing to build up. And that means that our credit cap is going down. I'm not sure that we can recover this, actually. We're still expanding steel mills. Okay, we're privatizing a coffee plantation here. That's a good thing. But our investment pool is very small right now. Well, actually, this is doing a lot of privatization right now. Hang on. This is going to do it. We're no longer in default. All of this privatization just saved our bacon. Beautiful. And boom, we're back to plus 773. And just like that, we're back, baby. Privatization, too powerful. I like it. So our GDP is going to be in sharp recovery after this. So we're at 377.2 right now. We're going to see that really start to spike back up. 377.9, yeah. So all that privatization, that's what saved us right there. The privatization paid down our debt far enough for us to get out of default. So that's amazing. We're very, very happy about that. I do want to bring our budget back to where it was. We're going to cut the taxes down to here. And we're going to raise up our military wages and our government wages. The question is, are we going to have to sit here? Yeah, we're going to have to sit here. That's okay. At this point, I'm comfortable putting a cut in. We are definitely going to recover here. And apparently there's a secession movement growing, but that's not all that relevant. At this point, I'm comfortable putting this in, and this is going to be the end of this series. We managed to recover from that through some privatization. It was close. It was very close, but we did manage to recover, and that is all of South America under our control. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge SPL, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.